In this video I'm going to show you how to waterbath can chicken meat and broth without a pressure canner, because we don't have one of those in Denmark. So I just smoked 3 really big chickens and I took off all of the meat, and this is the bones and some of the skin, and I'm putting that into my Instant Pot and I'm going to pressure boil this for 4 hours, and then I will make broth out of this. And after the 4 hours I will sift out all of the bones and I will put the broth in my fridge so it can cool off and all of the fat can solidify on top, so it's easier to remove. And I'm removing most of the fat, both so that we can use it other ways and so that it won't go into the broth. It can affect the seal if you have too much fat in your broth. So that's why I'm just removing most of it. And I will just put all of this fat in my fridge and we can use it on potatoes or when we're frying things, and so use it just like lard and butter and tallow. I'm putting my broth into a pot and I'll just slightly heat it up on my stove. I will not bring it to a boil, I'll just heat it up so that it's a little more runny. Right now it's really gelatinous and it's hard to put it into the jars with the chicken. I'm using some Himalaya salt. I'm just putting about half a teaspoon in each jar. I'm starting out with 6 jars, but I will take a jar more, so I have 7 all in all. So from those 3 chickens I took off 4 kilos of pure meat after the smoking. So that's a lot of meat, and I'm just keeping it in these bigger chunks so that they don't go to mush while I'm boiling it for a few hours. So now I'm just dividing it into all of the jars and then I will put on my broth afterwards. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we don't have pressure canners in Denmark. I don't even think that they are available in the whole of Europe, so that is why we are water bathing everything. And just because the USDA says it can only be done in a pressure canner when you are doing meats, it's not really true, because they only tested it in a pressure canner. And that is why they don't recommend doing it other ways. But in the rest of the world, this is how it has been done for many years, and that is also how I'm doing it. So you just have to have a really good hygiene, have the right headspace, and water bath for long enough, and then when you're going to eat it, heat it through for at least 10 minutes before eating it. That will kill off any toxins that have been formed while it has been stored. So it's not a problem to do it this way, just do it the right way. So now I put on some of the broth and I'm debubbling it and putting on some more broth, and I'm just doing this with all of the jars. Then I can rinse off the rims and put on my seals and my lids. And I'm aiming for about 1 inch of headspace. I have this big electric water bath canner that I'm using, so I'm putting all of the jars in there and at least 1 inch of water on top of them, and then I will start it up. And the broth was a little hot, but the chicken was cold, so I'm also putting them into cold water. And when they are on a boil, I will set the timer for 2 hours. And afterwards, when they have set a little time, I can take them out. And this is the next day where they have cooled, and I will check all of the seals. So I'm just lifting them up in the lid and they have all sealed. So I can put these in my pantry and I have some really nice and easy dinners coming up. If I had a pressure canner, I would probably use it for this purpose, but I don't, so this is how I'm doing it. At the same day, I also canned up some tomato soup and some of the leftover broth. So we also have this in pantry now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and go and follow us on Instagram at Vestas Farm Life. Bye bye.